Well, hello traders and investors. I'm L.A. Little and this is your daily NeoTA wrap. We take a look at these markets and doing it from a neoclassical perspective each time, asking ourselves what happened today, what does it tell us about the coming ones. We do a show 4 times a week, every Monday through Thursday. It's broadcast at or before 10 o'clock Eastern Time. It's archived on YouTube. It's under the channel L.A. Little. If you haven't subscribed and you want to, just reach up in the right hand corner and do so. Anytime we push content, you'll get a notification of that content being available for you to view. As far as what happened, you don't see much red on the screens. You see it in the bonds. You see it here in gold a little bit at the end of the day. It reversed, and you see it overseas in HSI. Nikkei was slightly higher, and outside of that, that was about it. You had big spikes again elsewhere. You had oil spiking to the top side, trying to break out on the WTI. That looks like it may have some legs finally. And if you look at the indexes themselves, right, and just go across the group here, slightly higher across the board. But again, you have actually not 2-bar, but over-unders on all the indexes one more time. Now, we've seen that before and it hasn't made a difference. We'll see if it makes a difference this time. Tomorrow you've got Europe and the ECB. Today they did push higher one more time. And so the question is the ECB going to be able to talk the euro down? We saw the euro down today, the dollar up. That is what caused the pullback in the gold. But the question is what can the ECB say at this point? It's hard to imagine they're going to do anything more than they already have since they just made the bazooka move last month. What can they do to actually talk that euro down, or are you going to see that euro, instead of going down, spike back up the other way, driving the dollar down, driving the commodities up again? So that's really the question coming into tomorrow. Let's take a look at the charts and see what we can see at this point. Unfortunately, we don't have the volumes in yet tonight, so they're dragging in a little bit late tonight. Maybe by the end of the show we'll have them. If we look at it, though, we're over, under, and if we pull over and look at the proxies, like using the SPY, for example, you can see the volumes were slightly lighter. That was true here as well on the IWM today. Volume slightly lighter as well, and definitely lighter on the QQQs, quite a bit lighter than it was yesterday. So the question is going to be, do we get some sort of a pullback off that 2-bar reversal? In the NDX and the Qs, we've just been going sideways. Elsewhere, of course, it's been continual push up. And so the setup is there one more time, across the board. All of these indexes set up to try and pull back tomorrow. It happens right in front of the ECB. And so it's going to be curious to see how that plays out tomorrow with the way these indexes behave. If we look at the sectors inside, I was looking at the major sectors tonight, and one of the things that caught my eye was that the XLK is actually at the highs, and that's despite the fact that we haven't been able to get any traction with the big cap technology, in particular Apple. It reports next week, but you're back at the highs on these indexes. If I pull over the monthly chart, you can see this had been the one that was driving everything for so long. It is back at the highs, and even despite the large cap tech not being able to give us a push up, we are seeing those sectors continuing to hold at the highs. And as a matter of fact, it's the only sector outside of the consumer durables that's been doing that. The durables had hit new highs if we pull that over and take a look at it. So it's kind of interesting that technology, even though it doesn't look nearly as strong as it has been, definitely still one of the strong sectors. Of course, you're getting a lot of push elsewhere. XLE, big push. The XLB, lately the XLF itself making the big push. All of these are coming back into the breakdown bars tops, and that's where the rubber meets the road, whether or not this trend will continue higher. So what do we think going into tomorrow? Unfortunately, I don't have the volumes here to look at it closely, but the setups are there again across the board on the indexes. If we look at the financials or any of these, ETFs, the sector ETFs, these are not showing that though. Here's the financials today. Again, volume pushing, makes a higher high, no failure there. Inside bar on the XLI, XLE makes new highs, XLB makes new highs. That one actually does get back under, but the volume's slightly heavier. And if I go to like healthcare makes a new high, not a failure, just slightly over. Inside bar on the XLY. So the sectors aren't supporting what you're seeing on the indexes. Which one's telling us the truth? It's not clear, but we know the path has been up, and so with the path being up, it's kind of hard to lean too heavily against this market. We may get some sort of a small pullback off the over-unders, but again, it's hard to read too much into it, given that you're not seeing it in the sectors, given that we're not seeing it in the overseas markets. We do have the one big variable tomorrow, which is the ECB. So if I had to put something on it, I'd say some sort of a pop and then a pullback would probably be the most likely scenario tomorrow. That's it for tonight. Have a great one. Thanks for joining me. Take care and good night.